What's going on, everybody? Oh my God. I really can't believe what I just witnessed. That was an insane ending to the Knicks and Suns game. Um, I honestly do sound like I'm sick. So, first of all, I sound very sick. So, don't mind me. And I might cut it just a little bit short this post game because I am still feeling a little bit unwell. But this game was crazy. Oh my God. I know. Sighing. That ending, I literally felt so broken after Booker hit that 3. I That was such an incredibly difficult shot for him, and I didn't think it was going in. When it went in, completely broke me because, look at how much time we had after he made that shot. We had, like, 1 second. He did, you know, he did his job. He ran down the clock all the way to 1.7, I believe that's what we had, and he made the 3. Oh my god, he's such an incredible player, honestly, to hit a clutch shot like that. But, Brunson almost made his too. If Brunson made that 3 with, like, 1 point seconds, whatever, left on the clock, I would have went crazy, absolutely crazy. No, I would have been screaming. Thank you, Kareem. On this Knicks loss is definitely not helping me get better because, man. Yeah, Mason said it, heartbroken, but we will bounce back on Tuesday. We are cursed. It feels like we are cursed. We're so close to that, to winning this game. But, Clyde said it best at the end, after they lost. He said it best. The Knicks were playing catch up this entire game. The entire game, they were trying to catch up to the Suns. We led like very late in the game, but it was only by a few points. So the Suns established themselves very early on in that first half. They were able to gain a 15-point lead, and from that, we had to play catch up, and we could never, you know, gain a lead for ourselves, or the entire time we were just struggling from behind. But we did a really good job coming back from the down 15, and it's mainly because of Brunson and Randle. Randle had a big third quarter. We saw a lot of bully ball from him down low in the paint. That's one of the things he does best. When he's in the paint, bullies his way through to get to the basket, to draw contact. Um, you know, get to the basket in general. He's really good at that. He's such a strong player. He has a lot of muscle. I like when he plays aggressive because, one, he he can draw contact and he could get to the free throw line. I know he's been a little inconsistent from the free throw line, so it's not always a great thing for him to be there. But at the end of the day, free throws can help us. Not tonight though. We struggled tremendously from the free throw line tonight. Let's check here. I believe we missed like 10 free throws. I'm gonna check on ESPN. Yeah, so apparently we were 16 for, oh no, that's the Suns. We were 23 for 32 from the free throw line. That's 71%. And that's 9 missed free throws. That's really unacceptable, honestly. We lost this game by 3 points. We could have won the game if we made our free throws. Simple as that. Kareem said, I don't feel that bad about the loss. They fought back after the first half. Diabolical. Yeah, they fought back, and I'm really proud of the way that they did come back. Especially Randall getting back into a rhythm in this game and proving that he is the player that, that first half was not a good first half for Julius Randle. So the second half, he was definitely just showing off and doing what he does best, getting to the basket, scoring, but unfortunately we just came up short. It was a really close ending. It could have gone either way. It could have gone the Knicks way if Booker missed that shot and we got back the ball to make a shot Unfortunately, Brunson only had a little less than 2 seconds to shoot the ball, which is not a lot of time, and he was actually very close with that 3. It did hit the rim. He got a good look too, but just couldn't get it down. But with the way he was playing tonight and with the way, he was getting every shot he wanted, you thought it was gonna go down. No, Brunson was amazing tonight. Coach said RJ and Randall played bad on that last defensive stand. Yeah, I mean, definitely, I think there could have been more. The both of them were guarding Booker, and Booker's a phenomenal player. So, like, we can say that the defense could have been better, but at the end of the day, Booker is just a great player, and he will make those shots. He's the type to make those clutch shots. He's not an average player. He's trained to make those late game shots that win games. Kareem said we won the third quarter, which has been our issue. All we had to do was win the fourth. Yeah. I'm really glad that we actually came out of halftime this time. Compared to last game, if you all watched last game, you remember how it was after halftime in that third quarter. We went down 21, and we had an awful third quarter against the Heat on Friday. But this game was different. They came out of halftime, and they're playing a lot better than they did in the first half. And we were actually able to cut the lead down and tie it, gain our own lead. I believe it was only a few points that we led by, but still, we came back in that third quarter a lot better than we did Friday. Third quarters are so important. It's however you come out of halftime, however you play in that third quarter, it really establishes the tone for the second half and how you'll be playing in the fourth quarter as well. We were really close to, taking over this game. We basically did. It felt like we did. We were never able to get consecutive defensive stops in a row, like 2 or 3. So we could never gain a little bit of a lead there in the fourth to protect ourselves and to close out the game. Unfortunately, it was always very close. It was either tied in the last few minutes of the game or the Suns had a lead. Mason said Jalen Brunson is an all-star. Yeah, he definitely is. He better win all-star. He better be on the all-star team this year because he is clearly proving that he is. A great game by him, and like another great game. He's been playing so great as of late, especially recently, the Miami Heat game. He's hitting a lot of clutch shots too. I know he missed that shot with 1 second left, but besides that, he hit every clutch shot tonight. Just when you thought the Knicks were going to be out of this game, and we were going to go down by a lot more than we should be, he hit the shot to get us back into it. Props to Jalen. He is really stepping up and leading this Knicks team. I never doubted him though. From last season, what we saw, I honestly knew that he could be this type of player for us and he could lead this Knicks team. He's a leader. If you can't see it already, he's leading this team in comebacks. Mason also said we need to re-sign IQ once free agency starts immediately. Yeah, I still wonder to this day why we didn't, give IQ an extension. Unfortunately, it's really unfortunate that the Knicks and him couldn't come to an agreement on a contract because IQ is a great player, a great sixth man for us. He is probably the best sixth man in this league. There's a few other people up there that you can debate about it, but IQ shows up every night for us and he leads that bench unit. He provides a spark off of the bench, and that's what helps us win games. A bench is a big part of your team, and a team can't win without, having that spark from the bench, which he provides. Tonight, he had 18 points, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. He was 4 for 11 from the field and 3 for 6 from the three-point line. A good game by him. He provided a spark in the comeback as well as the last game against the Heat. I really enjoy watching him play, and it'll be unfortunate if we don't re-sign him this summer or, offer him a contract that he wants because some other team will. Another team is definitely going to offer him the contract he wants because look at how he's been playing. I definitely think he could be a starter in this league. It's possible. I know he doesn't start for us, and even when we have a few starters out, he still doesn't start for us. But that's just because Tibbs thinks that he plays really well off of the bench and he needs to be with that bench unit. I understand it, but I can definitely see him being a starter in this league. Coach said we need a real defensive small forward to be a top defensive team. RJ has been playing really well, especially defensively. Coach, last game in the Miami in the against the Miami Heat, he played really good defense, especially down the stretch against Jimmy Butler. He held Jimmy Butler to not a lot of made shots. He held him down, and I think he struggled a little bit tonight because I think everyone struggled defensively tonight. Look how many three-pointers we gave up. Our perimeter defense was not great at all. Let's check how many three-pointers we gave up. So we gave up 16 three-pointers, if that's what I'm reading here. Yeah, we gave up 16, but I think it was like 12 in the first half. Or no, it was 8 in the first half, which is a lot. We were just leaving them open for some reason. I don't know why, because you got guys like Eric Gordon who are just basically three-point shooters. That's their specialty. I don't understand why we would leave them open. And it led to them making almost a majority of their threes. They're 42% from the three-point line, and towards the end stretch in that fourth quarter, it felt like they were making every three back to back. Every three that they shot up, they made it. It felt like. Captain Clutch better not get snubbed for the All-Star pick. I agree. If he gets snubbed this year, I'm not gonna take the All-Star team seriously. I won't take it seriously. I mean, I didn't take it seriously last year because Brunson still deserved it last year. Didn't get it. But I definitely think he will get it this year. But if he keeps playing how he's been playing. Almighty said, how do you lose with KD, Beal, and Grayson out? I know. I know that you think that this was a G League team we played, but a lot of players stepped up for them. I'm going to look at their box score really quick because a lot of guys were stepping up for the Suns. Yeah, like Eric Gordon. Eric Gordon had 25 points right there. He was 6 for 9 from the three-point line, 9 for 13 from the field. He stepped up. Who else was here? Goodwin. Goodwin had 14 points, was 6 for 10 from the field, 2 for 3 from the three-point line. And a lot of other guys stepped up for the Suns to get a win. I know we should have won this game without KD and Beal and even Grayson, but it is what it is. They still put up a really good fight against us despite, being undermanned, and also Devin Booker is still a great player that can lead a team clearly because he led this team to the win tonight, made the game-winning shot. I definitely think we should have won without a lot of important guys for them, but it is what it is. I think they will pay him eventually. Yeah, if you're talking about IQ, I think that this summer we have to pay him. If he continues to do what he's been doing, especially if he does it in the playoffs, we need to offer him a big contract. And it also, I don't know, it needs to be talked about if, he's never been in the starting lineup like that, but it could be a discussion if he should join the starting lineup, if he's getting starter money. Kareem said, I can't believe old man Gordon was cooking us. At this point, it doesn't surprise me that Eric Gordon was cooking us. I know he's a great shooter. So for him to go 6 for 9 from the three-point line doesn't necessarily surprise me. And This is Madison Square Garden, the world's most famous arena. I say it like every game that this arena gives opposing players powers, gives them the ability to shoot lights out because it always happens. And it's the most random player on the opposing team, too. I don't know. It's crazy. Those early Eric Gordon three-pointers hurt a lot. Yeah, they definitely did. And they helped him get into rhythm, for the rest throughout the rest of the game. It helped him get into rhythm to hit down a lot more. Unfortunately, the Knicks just could not defend the three tonight. I would have rather them you know, let everyone go for a layup instead of just shooting threes. It was impossible to watch. All they had to do was just guard the three-point line. Had Gordon looking like prime Reggie Miller. It's so true, though. It's so true. He was shooting lights out. I believe RJ was guarding him. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe I saw him guarding him a few times, which is, RJ's been really good defensively, but I think a lot of times I saw him leave Gordon open because he likes to help on the defense, and unfortunately, leaving Eric Gordon open is not going to leave you. It's not going to leave you any success because he's going to hit that three every time now. Brandon said, we really sold after we made the comeback. It's so hard to watch your team make the comeback and then lose in the final moments of the game. What was the comeback for? Man, I know. I'm still replaying that Booker shot in my head. As soon as it went down, I was so upset. I literally dropped my phone. I was holding my phone, dropped it to the floor because I just couldn't believe it. Of course this happens to the Knicks. We can never have nothing nice. No, but if we're going to talk about a few players, I have to mention Julius Randle again. Randle really stepped up in that second half. He had 28 points overall. He was 10 for 21 from the field, 1 for 4 from the three-point line, 7 for 8 from free throws. So he only missed one tonight, but the Knicks missed a lot more than one. So let me check right here how many free throws we missed overall. Oh, yeah, I mentioned it earlier. We missed 9, almost 10. So when you miss almost 10 free throws, you're really not going to win games. You need to make your free throws. What else do we have here? I'm going to look at some of the stats and the box score. And so Robinson in 34 minutes. Oh my God. Did you guys see that play with Robinson when he fell? It was so scary. I was so scared for Robinson when he fell on his back like that. I don't know. I thought he was going to be out immediately, head back to the locker room. It was pretty scary, but he seems like he was good. He was able to shoot the free throws and play the rest of the game, but we'll see if anything comes out of that. If we get any injury report for the next game. Hopefully he's all right because that fall just looked so hard and painful. Kareem said Grimes possesses so much potential. What's wrong with him? I don't honestly know. His defense was really great tonight, but offensively, Grimes has not really shown us anything this season. Unfortunately, that's the case. Tonight, in 20 minutes, he was 1 for 5 from the field, 1 for 3 from the three-point line, and only had 3 points. This is not what we've been expecting from Grimes. He's really letting me he's letting me down. I don't know if he's letting anyone else down that had high hopes for him this season, but I expected more from him because he has the ability to be an offensive threat and a threat from the three-point line. He's an underrated finisher at the basket. He can do a lot more, and we're just not seeing any of it. Only 3 points, only attempted three threes. He should be attempting more, but he's not making them. I'm really not sure what's going on with Grimes. I mean, I know he came back from an injury, a really fast injury. It was a wrist injury. It was last week or something, but he has to get into rhythm quick because, you know, we can win games if he helps us on the offensive end. We need help on the offensive end. We need him to score more than 3 points a game. Shaquille said, the season flashed before my eyes on that Robinson play. It was so scary as a fan to watch that because obviously Mitch has gone through injuries before and we don't want him to go through another one, but that right there looked like it could have been something. King said, yeah, he will be sore in the morning, definitely. Hopefully it's nothing more than being sore because I don't want to miss him the next game. King also said Grimes is not getting screens from other guys or getting to the spots that he needs to because Randle, with the ball in his hands too much, is a problem. Yeah, we did see a lot of iso ball tonight, mainly between Brunson and Randle. Brunson got it going though, so I'm not entirely mad that Brunson had the ball in his hands a lot because he did have 35 points and he was hitting his shots, especially from the 3-point line. I'm not mad about that. Randle as well got it going in the second half. It's just unfortunate because he definitely does need the ball a lot more. But we have two ball dominant players in that starting lineup with him, Randle and Brunson, and then the third player that they would go to is RJ, who had a quiet game. So Grimes being that fourth option in that starting lineup, it's hard for him. I get it, to not get a lot of shots, and they definitely need to look for him more. But if he gets the ball, he can also, if his shot is not falling, he can drive to the basket. He used to drive to the basket a lot last season. He can do it. We've seen him do it before, but he's been settling for a lot of threes this year. And unfortunately, he hasn't found a rhythm from the 3-point line. So I'd like to see him do something more than just shoot threes or attempt threes. Kareem said Grimes was working with JJ and Penny all summer. I know that's what's so disappointing about it because there was so much hype around him coming out of the offseason after he did the workouts with JJ Redick and Penny Hardaway. You expected him to break out this season and to have a you know just a better season than he did last year, especially offensively. He was working with offensively gifted players. JJ Redick is supposed to teach him how to be a knockdown shooter. It's disappointing to say the least. Grimes' production so far. King said, I love Randall's production this year, but he's a ball hog at times to the fault of the Knicks at this point. I'm just sick of the bullet passes, lackadaisical energy on defense. Yeah, I can understand your perspective. I don't want to go down on Randall too much because he did pretty much help us get back into this game and contributed a lot to the comeback. But I agree with you. There's a lot of times we're not seeing any effort from him, especially on the defensive end. It's unacceptable. I know he's coming off of surgery in June, his ankle injury, but we have to see effort. Every other guy is putting in effort. We need it from him too. So, and it's something as fans, we're noticing through many games. As the season continues, I've been noticing a lot of plays where Randall is just not showing up on the defensive end. He's not showing effort. The reason that the Suns were able to get so many offensive rebounds in that first half was because Randall was not boxing out at all. I literally was watching, specifically him, Almost every time the Suns got an offensive rebound, it was because Randle wasn't boxing out his player. So his player would end up getting that rebound. I don't know why he doesn't show any effort on the defensive end. It's really frustrating to watch. And I'm not trying to point it out, but it's so hard not to miss when you're watching the game. You notice it right away that hey, that guy is just not putting in any effort. He's not boxing out. He's not even getting into a defensive stance. He's not putting his hands up. Or it's so frustrating. Kareem said, "Yeah, we need Mitch for Tuesday versus the Hornets tournament game." Yeah, because I think if we lose that game, then we're out of the in-season tournament. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that's what I heard. So we definitely need him. We need Mitch every game. He's an anchor on us for on defense, and he really helps. He's been great this season. He did struggle a bit this game, but other than that, we need him. Gonna go through some more team stats over here. So from the field, the Knicks shot 44%, and the Suns shot 46%. Pretty even right there. But the Knicks only shot 12 three-pointers. But they were 40% from the three-point line, 12 for 30. And I already talked about the free throws. We missed 9. Not acceptable if we want to win games. It continues to just annoy me how many free throws we miss. I don't know why our free throw shooting is so inconsistent. And that's been how it, like, even when the season first started, that's how it's been. There was a game where we missed literally 12 free throws. It's been very inconsistent, erratic. It's not good. I don't know what's going to make that change. They just need to continue to practice their free throws in practice, put in the reps. King said, with Chicago Raptors and maybe Wiz depleting their rosters soon, is it anyone you can see us targeting to help our front court or help this team make a playoff push? Are we trading quick before the playoffs? Oh, well, honestly, if we were to trade for anyone, I don't think it would be another role player. I think we already did that, getting Josh Hart and getting Dante DiVincenzo, getting those guys. Those are the role players. But if we were to trade for someone mid-season or even next summer, it has to be a superstar. It has to be the piece we've been missing all these years, our number one option. Unfortunately, it's not going to be someone like Giannis because he already signed his extension with the Bucks, even though we were all really hoping it would be him. And I'm honestly not even sure if it would be someone like Joel Embiid anymore because he was a big target for us. But with the way the Sixers have been playing, it looks like they're projected to have a great year, a great season. He might just stay with them, and I don't know how it's going to work out if the Sixers would want to trade someone like him. I can't really see anyone who we would trade for mid-season right now. It's tough because I want to just say we have to trade for we have to trade for a number one option. No more role players. I mean, role players can help you, but at the end of the day, you need a number one, someone that will push us over the edge, to be that team. But besides that, oh, and Shaquille said we still need a backup four. That's so true. With the way Randall was playing in the first half, I wanted, I thought that he should go to the bench because he was struggling a lot, but we don't have a backup four to replace him. We don't have anyone to fill that role. because obviously Obi Toppin is not on this team anymore. But speaking of Toppin, Obi Toppin's brother, Jacob Toppin, has been going crazy in the G League. I don't know if anyone has seen his stats there, seen any highlights, but he's been going absolutely crazy, having 30-point games, multiple 30-point games. I think we should honestly call him up. I think he's around the same size as Obi. You know, he could be a backup forward for us. I honestly would love to see it. Not just because I was a huge Obi Toppin fan, but because we do need a backup for. And he's a forward. He could fit the role. He could fit the 8 to 10 minutes you want to give the backup for every night. And supposedly he is a better defensive player than Obi Toppin, so that can definitely help us. I know Obi was not known for his defensive skills, but if his brother is a better defensive player, I'd like to give him a chance. Jonathan said Jericho too. Yeah. Jericho has not been getting any minutes this season so far. You know, we saw him a lot last season. He even started a few games last season, but we've yet to see much of him. I personally didn't like it when they put him at the 4. I don't think he fits that role really well. He's not a shooter. I think it was preseason when they tried that out, when they put him at the 4, and he was struggling because he's not a shooter. He's not going to be the one to take those shots like Obi Toppin did for us last season. So I prefer him at backup center. You know, obviously he's the third string center though, behind Hartenstein. It'll be interesting to see when Jericho could get any minutes. Going back to some team stats over here though, we got to talk about the rebounds because the Knicks got out-rebounded, especially in that first half. And I mentioned it before that in that first half, I believe they had like 12 offensive rebounds. The Suns had 12 offensive rebounds. It was so unbelievable and very frustrating to watch them continue to get offensive boards. You know, usually that's us. We're usually the team that's very good at rebounding and getting the offensive boards because Mitch is like number 1 in the league at getting those offensive boards. It was the opposite in that first half. And I hate to mention it again, but it's literally because a lot of our guys were just not boxing out. And one of those guys were Julius Randle. A lot of the times he did not box out, and his player that he was guarding ended up getting the rebound. I saw it happen multiple times. Jonathan said originally he's the 5. Yeah, Sims is the 5. I believe that's what he plays the best. Forcing him at the 4 is just, I don't know. I don't really like it. King said long term over the next 5 years with LeBron, Steph, and maybe KD retiring, are the Knicks going to keep Randle and Barrett on this roster with Tibbs? And I actually think we have a shot at a championship. I have no idea what the Knicks front office are thinking, honestly. They're very mysterious, I'll say, because I don't think we're going, like, I don't know our long-term plan. I would say we would have to see mid-season how this team is doing. If we have a winning record at mid-season before they make a decision. Because if we have a losing record and Randle is not playing, you know, is not performing as he should or as he was last season, there might be a possibility that the Knicks trade him. I can see it happening, honestly. He's been on this team for, 4 or 5 years now. I know he's gotten us to the playoffs twice, and He's done a lot of things for us and for himself as well. He's been on the All-Star team. He's been on an All-NBA team. But when do we start thinking about moving on? I know we made it to the second round of the playoffs this past season, but that's the playoff success was not really because of him at all. We won that Cavs series mainly because of guys like RJ Barrett and Jalen Brunson, who carried this team through the playoffs, and they tried their best in the Miami Heat series. Randle didn't show up in the playoffs, and it's a thought to move on to move on from him. I've thought about it before. I think it'll really depend on what happens after this year. I'll be really curious to see if the Knicks do anything. But yeah, talking about the rebounds, it was really frustrating to watch the Knicks get out rebounded because usually Mitch is on that, getting the boards for us, especially the offensive ones. So very frustrating. And let's see, steals. The Knicks had more steals. Blocks. Oh man, the Suns had 11 blocks. They blocked a lot of our shots. I think even Booker had 2 blocks. I have to check that, but yeah. Total turnovers, we only had 8 turnovers. So not too bad because the Suns did have 13. And points in the paint, we had more. So, looking at these team stats, it goes either way. It was a pretty close game. So I'm not surprised that they're pretty even, most of them. Our largest lead was 2 and their largest lead was 15. Yeah. So this was a really heartbreaking loss, honestly. Going down to the wire, the very last second. In an alternate universe, Jalen Brunson makes that game-winning 3. He makes that shot. And Knicks fans are going crazy right now outside of MSG. They're shouting, they're screaming, they're dancing. They're screaming F Trae Young for some reason, but unfortunately, that wasn't the case. He missed the 3, and Devin Booker ruined my life. I'm sorry, but I'm going to go to sleep hating Devin Booker for being such a good player and shooter, for making that incredibly tough 3. I really didn't think he was going to make that. He had 2 guys basically on him. And I know that they didn't want to foul him, which is why they were giving him some space. Because if he did get fouled, obviously, that'd be horrible. But he still made it over 2 guys, and he did his job. He's a phenomenal player. Even without KD there, without Beal, without Grayson Allen, he led his team to a win. So now the Knicks are, 9-7. Our record is 9-7. We are 4-3 at home. And our next game is Tuesday. I believe someone mentioned that earlier. Next game. Yeah, so our next game is Tuesday against the Charlotte Hornets. And this game is a part of our in-season tournament. So I believe if we lose this game, we're out of the tournament. And if we win, we move on. So let's get a win. We beat the Hornets before. We could do it again. I have confidence that we could do it. And we'll bounce back after this really tough loss tonight. I know the guys on our team will definitely want to bounce back. And, especially it's a gut-wrenching loss to lose the way we did tonight. There wasn't much they could do with 1.7 seconds left. If maybe Brunson had a few more seconds left, this would be a different game. But without further ado, I appreciate everyone that tuned into this post game. I know we would have liked to talk about a win. Unfortunately, it was a loss. We'll get the next game Tuesday against the Hornets. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for commenting. If you're not subscribed already, please subscribe and enjoy the rest of your night. I'll see you guys after Tuesday's game against the Hawks.